Happy lunch hour, guys. Okay, obviously, I am sitting in the garage because it's raining here today. So, if I can't do stuff outside, I'm going to work on stuff inside. So, I've been working on framing an attic door and more of the wood behind me and stuff like that. So, that's why I'm a sweaty mess. I apologize for not looking so nice and prim and proper. Okay. But I decided to take a break and see what was going on in the world because yesterday, when I didn't do that, you guys crucified me. So I wanted to check it out. Lo and behold, what do I find? That Joe is trying to turn Taiwan into his own Vietnam. Let me explain. Okay. Now, you guys know what, a few days ago or whatever, I was talking about is China invading us imminent. It gets closer every day, okay? And all Joe is doing, besides poking the bear in Ukraine, okay, he's poking the dragon here in China. Joe is hell bent on starting a war with somebody. I mean, the next thing you know, we're going to be invading Madagascar or something like that under this idiot. But here's the reason I say this is Joe's Vietnam, okay? The story is that we are now sending about 200 troops to Taiwan to train the Taiwanese in U.S. equipment. Okay. Now, the military does not disclose what they have. I mean, whether it's ancient material or whatever it is, how to fix a Humvee or a 113 or something like that, or whether they're Bradleys or whether they are TOW missiles or LAW missiles or HIMARS systems or whatever it is. Who knows? Okay, we don't know that. But supposedly we are sending 200 troops over to Taiwan. Why is that significant? Well, last year at this time we had 30 troops there, okay, consultants. We haven't had triple digit troops in Taiwan in decades. The reason being, that's part of the agreement that we have with China. Now, everybody says, what kind of agreement? Why an agreement with China? You got to remember, China still considers Taiwan part of China. Taiwan considers themselves an independent state, okay? Hence the reason why when you're watching the Olympics, the Taiwanese are always coming up as Chinese Taipei, because that's what China refers to them. That's what their official name is. The rest of the world refers to them as Taiwan. Okay, but in order not to piss off the Chinese, they are referred to as Chinese Taipei. So is China going to go into Taiwan? Well, it sure seems Joe thinks so. Taiwan keeps sending more and more ships into Taiwanese waters. And again, this goes right back to, again, Taiwan considers themselves an independent state, so therefore those are their sovereign waters. China considers them part of China, so China says they're our sovereign waters. Okay? You need to be able to make that distinction. So what's the significance of this? We haven't had this many troops in Taiwan in decades. Well, think about how Vietnam started. Originally, it was we sent consultants over to Vietnam, Laos, wherever it would be at the time. Those are mostly CIA at the time. Okay. Well, who are we sending this time? Okay. It's not the CIA. We're sending the Michigan National Guard. Nothing against the Michigan National Guard at all. Okay. We're not sending active duty troops. We're not sending mercenaries. Okay. We're sending the Michigan National Guard. Now, remember what the National Guard is. These are, if you will, weekend warriors, to use the term. 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks over the summer. That's what it is. So if we're sending them to train, how truly trained are they on the systems in which they are going to train somebody else? Okay. In order to teach somebody this, and you all know this, you need to know the ins and outs of it very well, okay? You just don't wake up one morning and go, I think I'm going to teach somebody how to fix a car today. Have you ever fixed a car before? No, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Okay, that doesn't work. So what's the point of sending the Michigan National Guard? Remember, the National Guard is supposed to protect the state, their own state, okay? Army reservists are the backups to active duty, and active duty is self-explanatory. So why are we sending the Michigan National Guard? Well, the first thing I'm going to think about is let's think of who the governor of Michigan is who would have to approve this, because the National Guard does not report to the President of the United States. The National Guard reports to each one of their individual governors. The commander-in-chief of the National Guard is the governor. Just saying, until they are called to active duty. So Gretchen Whitmer had to sign off on sending her people, her regular 9-to-5 Joes who have jobs as accountants and barbers and car salesmen and whatever, and said, I think it'd be a good idea to send my people to, give Joe command of my people and send them off to Taiwan with everything going on in Taiwan. Now, this is how we started Vietnam. We sent consultants, and the next thing you know, we were in the Vietnam War. Remember how well that one went over in the United States. Okay. Now, my cousin's husband is a Vietnam vet. Some of you guys are Vietnam vets, and the way the country treated the vets when they came home was absolutely disgraceful. But I want you to remember this. Who was the president that sent the majority of the troops to Vietnam? That would be LBJ, okay? Another dirtbag Democrat. Remember who Biden says his influences are. FDR and LBJ, probably the two shittiest Democrats that tried to turn this country into a complete communist state in the 20th century, okay? All the social programs and all the other bullshit that went on. Joe is following in both of their footsteps. Hey, let's give away everything. FDR. Hey, let's go start a war. LBJ. Okay? Again, you guys know as well as I do that LBJ was pretty much the one who ordered Kennedy's Dallas incident. I'm trying to keep clean because he wanted to be president, because Kennedy didn't want to have anything to do really with Vietnam. LBJ did. Okay. Same with Biden. Biden wants a war somewhere. He's desperate for a war somewhere. So he's going to poke the bear with Russia. He's going to poke the bear with Ukraine. And the ones that get screwed are you and me and our kids and our grandkids. And he's going to start off with the Michigan National Guard because Gretchen Whitmer has aspirations to be president. And, hey, she's going to follow right in the footsteps of Joe because, in her opinion, Joe's one of the best presidents we have. Michigan, get rid of this witch, please, because all she's going to do is get your people killed. Pinball out.